How many times have you heard someone say, "Don't worry, it's only a few $100 a month"? Now, here's the thing. That simple phrase might be one of the most expensive sentences you'll ever hear. Over the last few years, we've watched prices climb, interest rates move around, and families stretch their budgets further than ever before. But here's what I think most people are missing. It isn't always one bad financial decision that gets people into trouble. It's dozens of affordable monthly payments that slowly pile up until there's nothing left at the end of the month. Today, we're going to talk about three of the biggest debt traps I see over and over again. Buying more house than you actually need, falling for 0% financing, and making financial decisions based on the monthly payment instead of the total price. Because folks, those three habits have probably done more damage to household finances than almost anything else. Most people don't wake up one morning buried in debt. It happens slowly, one payment, then another, then another. Today, we're going to walk through how that happens, why smart people fall into it, and one simple mindset shift that can completely change how you look at borrowing money. Let's slow this down. Imagine a family brings home $8,000 every month. Sounds pretty comfortable. Then life starts happening. A mortgage, a truck payment, an SUV, furniture financed for 5 years, a pool loan, credit cards, student loans. Now none of those payments look scary by themselves. A few hundred here, 500 there, maybe another 200 somewhere else, but together. They've already spent thousands of dollars before the month even begins. Think about that for a second. The paycheck is already spoken for. That's why so many people with good incomes still feel broke. Not because they don't earn enough, because every dollar already has somewhere to go. One of the biggest mistakes people make is confusing what a bank says they can afford with what they can comfortably live with. Banks determine what you qualify for. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best fit for your life. A larger house usually means more than just a larger mortgage. Higher property taxes, higher insurance, higher utility bills, more maintenance, more furniture, everything gets bigger, including the monthly bills. Have you ever gone to buy a car and the first question was, what monthly payment are you looking for? Think about that. They're not asking what you want to spend. They're asking how much payment you'll accept. Because if they can stretch the loan long enough, almost anything starts looking affordable. A lower payment doesn't always mean a better deal. Sometimes it just means you're paying for a lot longer. Now, before I get into this one, 0% financing isn't automatically bad. If you were already planning to buy something and you have the cash sitting safely in the bank, it can sometimes make mathematical sense, but that's not how most people use it. Most people buy something because the payment feels easy. Why not? It's 0%. It's only $50 a month. And suddenly they own something they never planned on buying. The financing wasn't the problem. The extra spending was. Now here's another mistake almost all of us make. When we decide we can afford a payment, we're usually making that decision based on today. Today's income, today's expenses, today's health, today's job. But life has a funny way of changing the math. Think about it. The water heater doesn't ask if it's a good month to break. The transmission doesn't wait until you've paid off the credit cards. Kids need braces, roofs leak, someone gets sick, hours get cut at work, or maybe an opportunity comes along that you'd love to take, but you can't because every dollar is already committed. That's why I always say that the goal isn't to build a budget that works when everything goes perfectly. The goal is to build a financial life that still works when life gets messy. Because sooner or later, it always does. Most people think the danger is not being able to make the payment. The bigger danger is what you have to do to keep making the payment. You drain your savings. You put the emergency on a credit card. You borrow from your retirement. You open another loan. You start robbing your future just to survive today. And that's how one unexpected expense turns into years of financial stress. Think about that for a second. The emergency wasn't what created the problem. It exposed how little margin you had to begin with. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make isn't borrowing against the money they have today. It's borrowing against money they hope they'll make tomorrow. They assume, I'll get a raise. I'll earn a bigger bonus. My business will keep growing. I'll work more overtime. Maybe all of that happens, but maybe it doesn't. The problem is that the payment doesn't care. It shows up every single month, whether your income went up or not. That's why financial freedom isn't built by assuming tomorrow will be better. It's built by making sure you can handle it if tomorrow isn't. History doesn't repeat perfectly, but it often rhymes. Years ago, people mostly financed homes, maybe vehicles. Today, Almost everything comes with financing. Phones, furniture, appliances, vacations, backyard pools, even groceries through buy now, pay later services. Debt has become so normal that people sometimes don't even think of it as borrowing anymore. It's just another monthly payment. And that's where the trap begins. You buy the biggest house you qualify for. You finance the new furniture. You finance the car. Every payment seems manageable until life changes. Unexpected repairs, medical bills, job changes. Suddenly there's no breathing room. You buy a little less house, drive the current vehicle longer, skip financing things you don't truly need. Your monthly obligations stay lower. Nothing about your income changed, but your flexibility did. And sometimes financial freedom isn't about making more money. It's about owing less of it to everyone else. Here's what most people missed. Debt isn't dangerous only because of interest. It's dangerous because it quietly steals your future cash flow. Every payment reduces your options. Every payment makes unexpected expenses more stressful. Every payment delays saving. Every payment delays investing. Every payment limits your ability to take advantage of opportunities when they come along. Think about someone who loses their job. Who feels more pressure? The person with 6 monthly payments or the person with almost none? That's the real cost of debt, not just dollars, flexibility. This week, keep an eye on the economic reports that can influence borrowing costs and household finances. Watch for any inflation data releases, labor market updates, consumer spending reports, comments from Federal Reserve officials about interest rates. While none of these reports change your financial situation overnight, they can influence borrowing costs, lending conditions, and the overall cost of financing in the months ahead. They assume I'll get a raise, I'll earn a bigger bonus, my business will keep growing, I'll work more overtime. Maybe all of that happens, but maybe it doesn't. The problem is that the payment doesn't care. What's your take on all of this? I'd genuinely be interested to hear your perspective, so down in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. And if you found this episode helpful, make sure you like this video and also subscribe to this channel. Every single week, we break down current economic events, market trends, and historical patterns to help you make more informed financial decisions during uncertain times. Thanks again for joining me on this episode of Straight Talk. And with that being said, I'll see you next week.